The Blandings turtle, a mid-sized turtle with a smooth helmet-shaped carapace that measures about 9 to 12 centimeters in length. Its carapace is dark brown to black and covered with irregular shaped yellow dots. The plastron is yellow with irregular black blotches. The throat and jaw have very distinctive yellow blotches. This species prefers quite shallow marshes and bogs, and ponds that contain heavy vegetation. It is a mobile species that will travel considerable distances, 5 to 7 kilometers over land, moving between wetlands in search of food or a mate. During hot, dry weather, the Blandings turtle will go into a state of dormancy. During winter, it will hibernate in sheltered sites underwater. The female reaches maturity in about 12 to 20 years, and breeding occurs throughout the season. Typically, nests are dug in May to June, and a female will lay a clutch of 3 to 8 white, soft, leathery eggs that will hatch in the fall. Females are capable of storing sperm until it is needed for fertilizing the eggs. It is an omnivorous feeder: snails, tadpoles, aquatic insects, and vegetation, and unlike other aquatic turtle species, it is capable of swallowing its food without being submerged. In Ontario, its range is limited to the southern and central parts of the province, except in the Bruce Peninsula region, and in the most easterly part of southeastern Ontario. It is designated as a threatened species and is protected under Ontario's Endangered Species Act. Because it takes so long for the species to reach reproductive maturity, the loss of a few adults from a local population can have a significant impact. Unlike other turtle species, the Blandings turtle is not long-lived. Crystal Lake, north of Peterborough, in the district of Galway, Cavendish Harvey, is one of Ontario's best-kept secrets. The spring-fed lake has over 26 miles of breathtaking scenic shoreline. This large lake is deep and very clean, providing excellent boating, swimming, and fishing. You will never tire exploring the numerous bays, inlets, and islets. This lake provides the cottager with the Canadian dream of owning heavily treed scenic waterfront at affordable prices. Approximately 600 cottage homes are dotted around this beautiful lake and features a wide variety of unique cottage structures and executive waterfront homes. There is a convenient full-service marina, Crystal Lake Marina, located on Clear Bay Road. Snowmobilers make use of the 500 miles of groomed trails. Plus, fishing is year-round. Enjoy catching walleye, bass, lake trout, and whitefish. Only 2 hours from the GTA. Worth the drive to enjoy peace, quiet, and natural beauty of this marvelous lake. Crystal Lake and surrounding lands support a myriad of wildlife species. Because the lake is clear, cold, and deep, it supports a healthy lake trout population. Crystal Lake is one of a very few naturally reproducing lake trout lakes in the Kawarthas. The lake also supports a diverse group of other fish species, including pickerel, smallmouth bass, and whitefish. Crystal Lake also supports a healthy population of loon as well as assorted duck and bird species, including mallard duck, osprey, turkey vultures, marsh hawk, pileated and hairy woodpecker, black crow, and raven, to mention just a few. Surrounding Crystal Lake are extensive areas of wetlands, which in some cases have been created by the action of beavers living in the lake. The wetlands and transitional lands near the lake shore support populations of painted and snapping turtle, frog, toad, newt, and salamander. The local populations of white-tailed deer, red fox, and black bear are vibrant. Maximum adult size is 10 centimeters. The call of the northern green frog is a deep twangy gung, like a loose banjo string. It is similar to that of the mink frog, but more twangy and not repeated in rapid groups. Both frogs are superficially similar, although they lack dorsolateral ridges and are much larger as adults. Mink frogs may also be confused with northern green frogs. Although the former has a yellowish belly and a musky odor and eyes slightly upturned, mink frogs also do not have bars on the hind legs. The northern green frog is native to Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. It has been introduced to Newfoundland and British Columbia. It is widely distributed in the eastern half of the United States. It is also quite common in the pet trade. The northern green frogs are most commonly found in or near shallow permanent water, such as springs, swamps, brooks, and pond and lake edges. Northern green frogs, being called in late spring to midsummer and May, breed as late as August. 3 or 4 small clutches of eggs are draped over submerged vegetation in permanent water. Tadpoles overwinter in water before transforming the following summer. Because of the extended breeding season and long larval period, tadpoles of various sizes and newly transformed frogs can be found during most of the spring and summer. Northern green frogs are quite aquatic, although they may be seen basking on shores of ponds, lakes, and creeks. They eat a wide variety of insects and other invertebrates. Northern green frogs hibernate underwater. This species is widespread and apparently stable, although it is rare in Manitoba. Northern green frogs are also introduced to British Columbia and Newfoundland. The western chorus frog, although being primarily nocturnal and secretive, also inhabit these springs, swamps, and ponds, as well as the common bullfrog. The northern green frog. The northern green frog is a subspecies of the green frog. Adult green frogs attain a snout vent length of 5.5 to 9 centimeters, which is 2.25 to 3.5 inches. This frog is a large true frog with large distinct tympanum and prominent dorsolateral ridges. It may be green, bronze, or brown, or a combination, but is typically green on the upper lip. The belly is white with darker lines or spots. There may be some irregular spotting on the back. It is distinguished from other frogs in that the dorsolateral ridges run only part way down the back and do not reach the groin. The hind legs have dark bars. Males have a bright yellow throat. Birch bark is the bark of several Eurasian and North American birch trees of the genus Betula. The strong and water-resistant cardboard-like bark can be easily cut, bent, and sewn, which made it a valuable building, crafting, and writing material since prehistoric times. Even today, birch bark remains a popular type of wood for various handicrafts and arts. Birch bark also contains substances of medicinal and chemical interest. The black saddlebags is a species of skimmer dragonfly found throughout North America. It has distinctive wings with characteristic black blotches at their proximal ends, which make the dragonfly look as though it is wearing saddlebags. The black saddlebags is a relatively large dragonfly at about 5 centimeters in length. The body is thin and black, and the female may have lighter spotting or mottling dorsally. The head is much wider than the rest of the body and is dark brown in color. The insect can be found in at bodies of stagnant water, such as ponds and ditches. The female mates once and stores all the sperm she needs for fertilization. If she should mate again, the second male will remove the sperm of the first male from her body with the brush-like apparatus on his specially adapted penis. The larvae of the dragonflies hatch and eat anything they can catch. So they are a helpful insect to have in wet areas where mosquito infestations occur. The Midland painted turtle. Its name is due to its attractive and colorful markings. Its carapace is oval in shape and measures 10 to 25 centimeters in length. Typically, the carapace is olive green in color, with bright red lines bordering the outer edges of the shell. The plastron is yellow. The neck, head, and tail have yellow stripes. Painted turtles are commonly seen basking in the sun, in large groups, on rocks, or logs along the water's edge. This species is found in slow-moving weedy waters. Painted turtles are active during the day and at night rest on the bottom of a pond. In a few breeds and in certain hybrids, the male and female chicks can be differentiated by color. Adult chickens have a fleshly crest on their heads called a comb or a coxcomb, and hanging flaps of skin either side under their beaks called wattles. Collectively, these and other fleshly protuberances on the head and throat are called carnacles. Both the adult male and female have wattles and combs, but in most breeds these are more prominent in males. A muff or beard is a mutation found in several chicken breeds which causes extra feathering under the chicken's face, giving the appearance of a beard. Domestic chickens are not capable of long-distance flight. Although lighter birds are generally capable of flying for short distances, such as over fences or into trees where they would naturally roost, chickens may occasionally fly briefly to explore their surroundings, but generally do so only to flee perceived danger. The French Alpine is a breed of goat that originated in the Alps. The goats of Alpine type that were brought to the United States from France, where they had been selected for much greater uniformity, size, and production than was true of the goats that were taken from Switzerland to France. Size and production rather than color pattern have been stressed in the development of the French Alpine. No distinct color has been established, and it may range from pure white through shades of fawn, gray, brown, black, red, bluff, piebald, or various shadings or combinations of these colors. Both sexes are generally short-haired, but bucks usually have a roach of long hair along the spine. The beard of males is also quite pronounced. The ears in the alpine should be of medium size, fine-textured, and preferably erect. The French alpine is a larger and more rangy goat and more variable in size than are the Swiss breeds. Mature females should stand not less than 30 inches at the withers and should weigh not less than 135 pounds. Males should stand from 34 to 40 inches at the withers and should weigh not less than 170 pounds. French alpine females are excellent milkers and usually have large, well-shaped udders with well-placed teats of desirable shape. The French alpine is also referred to as the alpine dairy goat, and registration papers for this dairy goat use both designations and they are synonymous. These are hardy, adaptable animals that thrive in any climate while maintaining good health and excellent production. The face is straight, a Roman nose, Toggenburg color and markings, or all white is discriminated against.
The black mallard. The most likely of other species for mallards to hybridize with, at least in North America, is the American black duck. The hybrid male mallard times the American black duck female can be rather readily identified. They tend to look like the American black duck but with mallard green on the head. Often they have the mallard's curled tail feathers and paler coloration than a pure American black duck on the back and their flanks. When one takes into consideration back crosses, there is a bit of variety, but it should be apparent when one is dealing with a male American black duck, with even a bit of mallard in it.
Adult wild turkeys have long reddish-yellow to grayish-green legs. The body feathers are generally blackish and dark brown overall, with a coppery sheen that becomes more complex in adult males. Adult males called toms or gobblers have a large featherless reddish head, red throat, and red wattles on the throat and neck. Chickens. Chickens are omnivores. In the wild, they often scratch at the soil to search for seeds, insects, and even larger animals such as lizards or young mice. Chickens may live for 5 to 10 years, depending on the breed. The world's oldest chicken, a hen, died of heart failure at the age of 16, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Roosters can usually be differentiated from hens by their striking plumage of long flowing tails and shiny pointed feathers on their necks and backs, which are typically of brighter, bolder colors than those of the females of the same breed. However, in some breeds such as the Seabright, the rooster has only slightly pointed neck feathers, the same color as the hens. The identification can be made by looking at the comb, or eventually from the development of spurs on the male's legs. Domesticated guinea fowl. Guinea fowl, sometimes called pintade, are a family of birds originating from Africa. Related to other game birds such as the pheasants, turkeys, and partridges, they have a long history of domestication, mainly involving the helmeted guinea fowl. As domestics, guinea fowl are valuable pest controllers, eating many insects. They are especially beneficial in controlling the Lyme disease-carrying deer tick, as well as wasp nests. While they are rarely kept in large numbers, a few are sometimes kept with other fowl to be used as a security system against birds of prey. They will call with their loud, high-shrieking voices if concerned about intruders. They are highly social birds and tend to languish when alone. Kinmount is a village with a population of approximately 500. Located on the Burnt River in Ontario, Canada, the village is now part of the city of Kawartha Lakes. The village's hinterland covers large sections of both Haliburton and Peterborough, for which it is a shopping and cultural center. Prior to the formation of the city of Kawartha Lakes, Kinmount was the seat of Somerville Township. The economy of Kinmount once relied on forestry, but is now primarily based on tourism. The village is an important source of supplies for summer cottagers in the area, and consequently becomes nearly dormant in winter. One of Kinmount's primary businesses and tourist draws is the Highland Cinemas, a first-run movie theater with a movie poster and equipment museum. The local post office at 4078 County Road 121 offers lockboxes and services one rural delivery route. Kinmount was originally named Burnt River, a name now used by a nearby village, after the river which flows through the village. In 1859 it was renamed Kinmount by Miss Malcolm Bell, after Kinmount, Scotland. Kinmount is notable for being one of the first sites of Icelandic settlement in Canada. Although the group moved to Manitoba after 2 years, their story is told and their presence commemorated by an Ontario historical plaque. A memorial paying tribute to the early settlers was erected there in September 2000. Over 500 people gathered for the dedication, including the Foreign Minister of Iceland and the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada. The Victoria Railway connected Kinmount with Lindsay and Haliburton. The line was absorbed by Canadian National Railways as the Haliburton subdivision. Passenger service ceased in 1960. Freight service ended in 1978 and the line was abandoned in 1981. Kinmount most recently gained national attention in the summer of 2004 when it became the first Ontario village to actively canvass a family physician to move to the community. The grassroots campaign included leaflets, posters, and newspaper ads throughout the province.
Red-berried elder. Red-berried elder. Also native to the United States, red-berried elder is a deciduous shrub found in mountainous regions, particularly in high elevation fields and dense forests. All part of the plant, including its red berries, contain cyanogenic glycoside and alkaloids, which are poisonous if swallowed. Swamp milkweed prefers moisture retentive to damp soils in full sun to partial shade and typically is found growing wild near the edges of ponds, lakes, streams, and low areas or along ditches. It is one of the best attractors of the monarch butterfly, which feeds on the flowers and lays her eggs on the plants. The emerging caterpillars feed on the leaves. The plants have specialized roots for living in heavy wet soils. The scented thick white roots are adapted to live in environments low in oxygen. Blooming occurs in mid to late summer, and after blooming long, relatively thin, rounded pods are produced that grow uprightly. The pods split open in late summer to late fall. Symptoms of mild toxicity include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, while high amounts can cause a person to fall into a coma. Aside from its tiny red berries, the red-berried elder is known for its cream-colored 3 to 5 parted flowers that appear in circular clusters. The turkey vulture, also known in some North American regions as the turkey buzzard or just buzzard, and in some areas of the Caribbean as the John crow or carrion crow, is the most widespread of the New World vultures. The turkey vulture ranges from southern Canada to the southernmost tip of South America. It inhabits a variety of open and semi-open areas, including subtropical forests, shrublands, pastures, and deserts. It, like all New World vultures, is not related to the Old World vultures of Europe, Africa, and Asia. It looks nearly identical because of convergent evolution, where natural selection similarly shapes unrelated animals adapting to the same conditions. The turkey vulture is a scavenger and feeds almost exclusively on carrion. It finds its food using its keen eyes and sense of smell, flying low enough to detect the gases produced by the beginnings of the process of decay in dead animals. In flight, it uses thermals to move through the air, flapping its wings infrequently. It roosts in large community groups, lacking a syrinx, the vocal organ of birds. Its only vocalizations are grunts or low hisses. It nests in caves, hollow trees, or thickets. Each year it generally raises 2 chicks, which it feeds by regurgitation. It has very few natural predators. The eastern chipmunk. The eastern chipmunk is a chipmunk species found in eastern North America. It has reddish-brown fur on its upper body and 5 dark brown stripes contrasting with light brown stripes along its back, ending in a dark tail. It has lighter fur on the lower part of its body. It has a tawny stripe that runs from its whiskers to below its ears, and light stripes over its eyes. It has 2 fewer teeth than other chipmunks and 4 toes each on the front legs, but 5 on the hind legs. The eastern chipmunk lives in deciduous wooded areas and urban parks throughout the eastern United States and southern Canada. It prefers locations with rocky areas and shrubs to provide cover. It can climb trees well, but constructs underground nests with extensive tunnel systems, often with several entrances. To hide the construction of its burrow, the eastern chipmunk carries dirt to a different location in its cheek pouches. It also lines the burrow with leaves, rocks, sticks, and other material, making it even harder to see. It has several bird-like or chattering calls. One is a trill at the rate of 130 vibrations per minute, and another is a lower-pitched clicking sound. Its diet is mainly active during the day, spending most of its day foraging. It prefers bulbs, seeds, fruits, nuts, green plants, mushrooms, insects, worms, and bird eggs. Like other chipmunks, it transports food in its pouches in its cheeks.
water flows over the control dam on Crystal Lake down Noggies Creek, which in turn flows into the north end of Pigeon Lake. Located at the confluence of Noggies Creek and Pigeon Lake is a protected muskellunge spawning sanctuary. This is one of the reasons why it is critically important that the flow of water in Noggies Creek is carefully managed throughout the year.
Near Minden Hills, Horseshoe Lake, 6.3 kilometers, overfalls an area of breaking waves caused by the meeting of currents or by waves moving against the current. Another trait unique to domestic sheep as compared to wild ovines is their wide variation in color. Wild sheep are largely variations of brown hues, and variations within species is extremely limited. Colors of domestic sheep range from pure white to dark chocolate brown and even spotted or piebald. Selection for easily dyeable white fleeces began early in sheep domestication, and as a white wool is a dominant trait, it spread quickly. However, colored sheep do appear in many modern breeds, and may even appear as a recessive trait in white flocks. While white wool is desirable for large commercial markets, there is a niche market for colored fleeces. Domestic sheep are relatively small ruminants, usually with a crimped hair called wool, and often with horns forming a lateral spiral. Domestic sheep differ from their wild relatives and ancestors in several respects. Having become uniquely neurotic, neotenic, Suffolks are a medium-wool black-faced breed of meat sheep that make up 60% of the sheep population in the U.S. as a result of selective breeding by humans. A few primitive breeds of sheep retain some of the characteristics of their wild cousins, such as short tails. Depending on breed, domestic sheep may have no horns at all, or horns in both sexes, or in males only. Most horned breeds have a single pair, but a few breeds may have several.